Imagine this. You're in the middle of a storm. Deadlines loom overhead. Personal conflicts demand your energy, and the relentless demands of life weigh on your shoulders. Yet, amid this chaos, your mind remains calm, your heart steady, and your sense of self unshaken. How transformative would it feel to move through life with that kind of unbreakable resilience? We often believe that peace is something to be found, hidden in a serene vacation, a quiet moment, or an escape from the noise of life. But the truth is, peace isn't a destination, it's a skill. It's something you can cultivate within yourself, no matter how turbulent the world around you may be. Today, we'll explore 10 timeless Buddhist principles that act as a blueprint for building this inner sanctuary of calm. These teachings are far more than ancient philosophies. They are practical, actionable strategies tailored to help you thrive in our fast-paced modern world. Whether you're dealing with stress, trapped in a cycle of negativity, or yearning for balance, these principles are your tools to rise above life's challenges. As the Buddha so wisely said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Together, we'll uncover how to harness this truth and take control of your inner world. By practicing these principles, you'll learn to weather any storm, not by avoiding life's challenges, but by standing firmly grounded in the midst of them. So, are you ready to unlock the wisdom that has guided countless generations towards serenity and strength? Let's embark on this journey to a life where nothing, no criticism, no stress, no chaos, can disturb your inner calm. Principle 1. Firm purpose, your guiding star. In Buddhism, a firm purpose is seen as the foundation of resilience. Much like the roots of a strong tree that withstands the fiercest winds, your purpose provides not only direction but also meaning in a world that often feels unpredictable and chaotic. It helps you filter out distractions, focus on what truly matters, and face life's challenges with clarity and determination. Abraham Lincoln is one of history's most inspiring examples of living with purpose. His journey was marked by repeated setbacks, losing numerous elections, navigating personal and professional failures, and leading a nation teetering on the brink of collapse during the Civil War. Despite the odds, Lincoln held steadfast to his purpose, preserving the Union and ending slavery. Lincoln's resilience wasn't just about enduring hardships. It was about aligning every action with his ultimate goal. He once said, "Determine that the thing can and shall be done, and then we shall find the way." This unwavering clarity helped him navigate immense challenges, turning setbacks into stepping stones. His life reminds us that purpose isn't just a motivational idea. It's a powerful force that can guide us through even the darkest times. In our daily lives, it's easy to lose sight of what's important. The constant demands of work, relationships, and societal expectations can pull us in a dozen different directions. Without a clear purpose, we may find ourselves reacting to external pressures rather than proactively shaping our lives. Having a firm purpose doesn't mean you need a grand, world-changing mission. It could be as simple as nurturing your family, contributing to your community, or living with integrity. What matters is that your purpose resonates deeply with your values, giving you a sense of fulfillment and direction. To cultivate a strong sense of purpose, start by taking just 5 minutes each morning to reflect on your goals and intentions for the day. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve today? Why is this important to me? Writing these thoughts down can be transformative. The act of clarifying your purpose helps you prioritize your time and energy, keeping you aligned with what truly matters. For longer-term reflection, try this exercise. 1. Define your values. What principles guide your decisions? Is it kindness, creativity, justice, or family? Identifying your core values helps anchor your purpose. 2. Set meaningful goals. Break your purpose into actionable steps. For example, if your purpose is to contribute to your community, consider volunteering once a week or supporting local businesses. 3. Revisit regularly. Life evolves, and so might your purpose. Set aside time monthly or quarterly to reassess your goals and ensure they align with your current values. When life feels overwhelming, your purpose acts like a lighthouse, cutting through the fog of uncertainty. It reminds you why you're here and what you're working toward. The storms may rage, but with a clear purpose, you can stay steady, navigating challenges with resilience and grace. By dedicating time to cultivate and maintain a firm purpose, you're not just setting goals, you're building the foundation for a life of meaning and strength. As the Buddha said, your work is to discover your work and then with all your heart to give yourself to it. Principle 2. Becoming untouchable, mastering reactions. The Buddha's teachings emphasize that the root of much of our suffering lies not in external events, but in how we respond to them. By learning to master our emotional reactions, we can protect our peace of mind, becoming untouchable to negativity and external disturbances. This is not about ignoring problems or denying reality, but about responding to life's challenges with clarity, control, and composure. Think of your mind like a smartphone constantly receiving notifications. These notifications, negative comments, criticism, or unpleasant situations are beyond your control. You can't stop them from arriving, but you do have the choice of whether or not to engage with them. When you see a notification, you can choose to open it and let it affect your mood, or you can swipe it away and move on with your day. Similarly, when faced with negativity, you have the power to decide whether to internalize it or let it pass. The more you practice this detachment, the less sway external events will have over your emotions. Mahatma Gandhi is a powerful example of emotional mastery in action. During India's struggle for independence, Gandhi faced intense opposition, insults, and even physical violence. Yet, he remained steadfast in his principle of nonviolence, responding to hatred with peace. His refusal to react emotionally to provocation was not a sign of weakness but of immense strength. By maintaining his calm, Gandhi turned his silence and composure into powerful tools that inspired millions. His ability to remain untouchable in the face of aggression demonstrated that true strength comes from within. Our emotional reactions are often automatic, shaped by past experiences, insecurities, and fears. When someone criticizes us or says something hurtful, it's natural to feel defensive or angry. But reacting impulsively only gives away our power, allowing others to dictate our emotional state. For example, think about a time when someone's words ruined your mood for an entire day. That reaction likely had more to do with how you interpreted their comment than with the comment itself. By stepping back and observing the situation, you could have avoided unnecessary suffering. Practical steps to becoming untouchable. 1. Pause before reacting. When someone criticizes or provokes you, take a moment to pause. This brief silence creates space for you to process the situation and choose your response deliberately. 2. Breathe and reflect. Deep breathing can calm your nervous system, reducing the intensity of your immediate reaction. As you breathe, remind yourself, this is their perspective. It doesn't define me. 3. Reframe the situation. Instead of taking negative comments personally, consider them as reflections of the other person's state of mind. For instance, someone's harsh words might stem from their own stress or insecurity rather than anything about you. 4. Practice detachment. In Buddhist practice, detachment doesn't mean apathy, but learning to let go of emotional attachments that cause suffering. When you let go of the need for approval or validation from others, their negativity loses its power over you. 5. Build emotional resilience. Daily practices like meditation, journaling, or mindfulness help strengthen your emotional resilience. Over time, these habits train your mind to remain calm and focused, even in challenging situations. Becoming untouchable doesn't mean you're indifferent to what happens around you. Instead, it's about protecting your peace and responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Each time you pause, breathe, and choose not to engage with negativity, you reinforce your emotional strength. By mastering this skill, you'll find that fewer things upset you, criticism won't sting as deeply, and your inner calm will remain intact. Over time, this practice will transform how you navigate life's challenges, giving you the freedom to focus on what truly matters. Principle 3. The freedom in insults. Insults are often like arrows that can only hurt us if we allow them to pierce our emotional armor. In Buddhism, insults are viewed as opportunities to practice detachment and patience. They are not personal attacks against our worth, but reflections of the inner struggles of the person delivering them. This perspective can transform how we interpret and respond to negativity, ultimately freeing us from unnecessary suffering. When someone hurls an insult, their words often stem from their own frustrations, insecurities, or emotional pain. For example, a coworker who criticizes your work harshly might be projecting their fear of failure. A stranger who lashes out online might be battling personal struggles you cannot see. Understanding that insults reveal more about the speaker than the recipient gives you the power to choose how much importance to give their words. In essence, an insult is like a gift. If you refuse to accept it, it remains with the giver. By not internalizing the negativity, you protect your peace and avoid unnecessary emotional turmoil. Eleanor Roosevelt was no stranger to criticism. As First Lady of the United States, she faced relentless scrutiny for her advocacy for civil rights and women's equality, unpopular stances in her time. Yet, she remained steadfast, focusing on her mission to champion human rights. Her famous words, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent," encapsulate the essence of freedom from insults. Instead of allowing negativity to derail her, Roosevelt reframed criticism as noise that had no bearing on her purpose. Her story is a powerful reminder that our self-worth is not defined by others' opinions. When insulted, our instinct is often to react defensively. This reaction can escalate the situation, giving the insult more power than it deserves. Defensiveness ties our sense of self-worth to others' opinions, creating a vicious cycle where external validation, or lack thereof, determines how we feel about ourselves. By resisting the urge to react, you reclaim control over your emotions. Silence, in the face of insults, is not weakness, it is strength. It signals that your self-esteem is intact and independent of external judgments. How to practice freedom from insults. 1. Pause and reflect. When someone insults you, resist the urge to react immediately. Take a deep breath and create a mental pause. This small gap allows you to process the situation more rationally. 2. Reframe the insult. Ask yourself, what might this person be struggling with? Instead of taking the words personally, view the insult as an expression of their emotional state. This reframing not only protects your peace but fosters empathy. 3. Remember your worth. Remind yourself that your value doesn't hinge on others' opinions. Your worth is intrinsic and unaffected by fleeting words or judgments. 4. Respond with calmness. If a response is necessary, choose your words carefully. A calm, measured reply often diffuses tension and signals emotional strength. For instance, saying, "I hear what you're saying," without agreeing or escalating can neutralize conflict. 5. Practice compassion. Recognize that insults often come from a place of pain or insecurity. While it doesn't excuse rude behavior, viewing the insulter with compassion can soften your reaction and maintain your inner peace. Insults, when reframed, become valuable lessons in patience and self-control. Every time you choose not to react, you strengthen your emotional resilience. Over time, this practice allows you to detach from the need for approval or validation, freeing you from the emotional grip of others' words. By following these steps, you can transform what might initially feel like a personal attack into an opportunity for growth. As Eleanor Roosevelt's life demonstrates, your mission and self-worth are far more significant than fleeting negativity. Let the words pass by, unclaimed and powerless, as you focus on what truly matters. Principle 4. Overcoming fear and shame. Fear and shame often operate as invisible barriers, preventing us from pursuing our dreams or living authentically. Buddhism teaches us that these emotions are not permanent or insurmountable truths. They are mental constructs, stories we tell ourselves based on past experiences, societal pressures, or internalized expectations. Once we recognize them for what they are, we can begin to dismantle their power over us. Fear is often rooted in our anticipation of pain or failure, while shame emerges from the belief that we are inherently flawed or unworthy. Both emotions thrive in the shadow of uncertainty and judgment. For instance, fear may whisper, "What if I fail?" while shame reinforces. What will people think if I fail? Together, they form a cycle that keeps us stuck, afraid to take risks or step outside societal norms. Buddhist teachings remind us that these emotions are impermanent and fueled by attachment. Our attachment to approval, perfection, or control. By observing and confronting fear and shame, we begin to loosen their grip, reclaiming our freedom to act authentically. I vividly remember avoiding public speaking for years because of the crippling combination of fear and shame. My fear whispered that I might forget my words, stumble, or embarrass myself. My shame told me that if I failed, I'd be judged as incompetent or unworthy. For a long time, these emotions dictated my actions. I avoided opportunities, missing chances to grow. But one day, I decided to examine the source of these feelings. When I asked myself, what am I really afraid of? I realized it wasn't the act of speaking itself. It was my need for approval and fear of judgment. By acknowledging this, I could start challenging the narratives that held me back. I began with small steps, speaking in front of close friends, then volunteering for small presentations. Each success chipped away at my fear, and each moment of vulnerability weakened the shame. Over time, what once felt like a towering obstacle became an opportunity to grow. Breaking the chains. How to overcome fear and shame. 1. Acknowledge your emotions. The first step is to name the fear or shame you're experiencing, rather than suppressing these feelings. Observe them. Ask yourself, what am I truly afraid of? Or why do I feel ashamed? This mindful awareness separates you from the emotion, allowing you to see it as a temporary experience rather than an inherent truth. 2. Challenge your beliefs. Once you've identified the source of your fear or shame, question it. Ask, is this belief accurate? For example, if you fear failing in a new role, consider past situations where you succeeded despite initial doubts. Reframing these thoughts helps dismantle the exaggerated narratives holding you back. 3. Take incremental steps. Fear and shame lose their power when faced directly. But this doesn't mean diving into overwhelming situations. Start small. If you fear rejection, practice speaking up in low-stakes environments. Celebrate each small success. It's proof that your fear doesn't define your potential. 4. Practice compassion toward yourself. Shame often stems from harsh self-judgment. Counter this by treating yourself with kindness, as you would a close friend. When you stumble, remind yourself that imperfection is a shared human experience. Buddhists call this metta, cultivating loving kindness toward oneself and others. 5. Visualize the worst case. A practical exercise to confront fear involves writing down your biggest fear and then imagining the worst-case scenario. For instance, if you're afraid of failing an interview, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? You might realize that even the worst-case outcome is manageable, reducing the fear's intensity. The antidote to fear and shame is not the absence of risk or judgment, but the courage to face them with acceptance. Every time you act despite these emotions, you weaken their hold. Each small victory builds confidence, proving that you are stronger than the illusions holding you back. By practicing these steps, you'll find that fear and shame no longer act as walls, but as stepping stones toward greater resilience and authenticity. In Buddhism, liberation begins with understanding, and in understanding our emotions, we unlock the freedom to live fully and fearlessly. Principle 5. Guarding the mind, a mental garden. In Buddhism, the mind is often likened to a garden, a space of potential growth, beauty, and abundance. However, just like a physical garden, your mind requires consistent care and attention. Negative thoughts, much like weeds, can creep in unnoticed, crowding out positive and empowering beliefs. By mindfully tending to your mental garden, you can cultivate clarity, resilience, and peace. Negative thoughts are inevitable, but they gain power when left unchecked. These can manifest as self-doubt, fear, or anger, and over time, they create a mental environment that feels heavy and overwhelming. If you've ever found yourself spiraling into worry or frustration, you've experienced the result of letting these weeds take root. Buddhist teachings remind us that our thoughts are not inherently good or bad. They're simply mental events, But when we unconsciously attach to negative thoughts, they grow and influence our emotions and actions. Guarding the mind means recognizing these thoughts without judgment and consciously choosing which to nurture and which to let go. Imagine a gardener walking through their garden. They notice weeds growing among the flowers. A skilled gardener doesn't ignore the weeds, nor do they panic or blame themselves for their presence. Instead, they calmly pull them out, ensuring the flowers have the space to thrive. Your mind deserves the same care. Negative thoughts, like weeds, will appear. It's natural. But by observing them calmly and releasing them, you create a mental space where positive, constructive thoughts can flourish. When you prioritize positive thoughts, they act like sunlight and water, nurturing the flowers of your mental garden. Thoughts of gratitude, hope, and resilience lead to better emotional health and clearer decision-making. Research even shows that positive thinking improves not only mental well-being, but also physical health by reducing stress and increasing overall life satisfaction. Guarding the mind isn't about forcing positivity or denying challenges. It's about creating balance, making sure that the energy you invest in your thoughts aligns with the person you want to become. Practical steps to guard your mind. 1. Mindfulness meditation. Meditation is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice and an essential tool for guarding the mind. Spend 5 minutes daily focusing on your breath. As thoughts arise, simply label them. This is frustration. This is worry, and let them drift away like clouds. This practice trains your mind to observe thoughts without becoming entangled in them. 2. Journaling. At the end of each day, write down recurring negative thoughts and challenge them. For instance, if you find yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," ask yourself, "Is this absolutely true?" Replace it with a constructive thought, like, "I'm capable of learning and improving." 3. Set mental boundaries. Be mindful of what you consume. Social media, news, and negative conversations can plant weeds in your mental garden. Choose content and environments that uplift you. Think of this as selecting the right seeds for your garden. 4. Daily affirmations. Start your day by affirming positive beliefs, such as, "I am resilient," or "I am worthy of peace and happiness." Affirmations act as nutrients, reinforcing positive thought patterns. Tending to your mind, like gardening, is an ongoing process. Some days will feel effortless, while others may feel like a battle against stubborn weeds. The key is consistency. Each time you meditate, challenge a negative belief, or prioritize positive influences. You are strengthening your mental garden. Over time, you'll notice a shift. Negative thoughts will lose their grip, and you'll find it easier to focus on what empowers you. By cultivating this mindful practice, you create a mental space that supports not only your personal growth, but also your ability to navigate life's challenges with calmness and clarity. Remember, your mind is your sanctuary. Guard it with the same care and attention you would give a cherished garden, and it will flourish in ways you never imagined. Principle 6. Everyone is a teacher. Buddhism teaches us that every person we encounter, whether they uplift us, challenge us, or frustrate us, plays a role in our personal and spiritual growth. This perspective allows us to approach relationships and conflicts with curiosity and humility, seeing them as opportunities to learn rather than obstacles to avoid. It's easy to appreciate people who inspire or support us, but the real test comes from those who push our buttons. These difficult encounters are where the greatest lessons lie. A person who criticizes you might be highlighting areas where you can improve. Someone who tests your patience may be teaching you about emotional control. When you shift your perspective to view every interaction as a teaching moment, you stop seeing people as adversaries and start seeing them as mirrors reflecting parts of yourself. This approach helps you cultivate self-awareness, patience, and compassion. In one of my past workplaces, I had a colleague who constantly criticized my ideas. At first, I was defensive and frustrated, feeling that her comments were unnecessarily harsh. I would mentally label her as difficult and avoid engaging with her more than necessary. But one day, I decided to reframe the situation. Instead of seeing her as someone trying to undermine me, I asked myself, what is she trying to teach me? Upon reflection, I realized her critiques often pointed out areas where I hadn't thought my ideas through completely. While her delivery was blunt, her feedback was valuable. By changing my mindset, I not only improved my work, but also learned to accept constructive criticism more gracefully. What began as a source of frustration became a powerful learning experience, and our professional relationship improved over time. Seeing everyone as a teacher fosters humility. It reminds you that you don't have all the answers and that there's always room to grow. Even people who seem less experienced or knowledgeable than you can offer insights. For example, a child might remind you of the joy in simple things, or a stranger might teach you the value of kindness through an unexpected act. This mindset also helps you let go of judgment. Instead of labeling someone as difficult or wrong, you can approach interactions with openness, focusing on what the experience is teaching you. This shift reduces conflict and fosters healthier relationships. Practical steps to apply this principle. 1. Pause and reflect. When someone challenges or frustrates you, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, why am I reacting this way? What is this teaching me about my own triggers or weaknesses? 2. Observe without judgment. Instead of jumping to conclusions about someone's intentions, approach the interaction with curiosity. Consider what their behavior might reveal about your own beliefs or habits. 3. Practice gratitude for lessons. At the end of the day, reflect on your interactions. Write down one lesson you learned from someone, whether positive or challenging. This habit reinforces the mindset that every encounter has value. 4. Respond with compassion. Difficult people often act out because of their own struggles or insecurities. By responding with empathy rather than defensiveness, you not only protect your peace, but also create space for understanding and growth. The next time someone frustrates you, consider it a gift in disguise. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me about myself? Perhaps it's a lesson in patience, humility, or communication. By embracing this perspective, you turn potential conflicts into opportunities for self-improvement. In viewing everyone as a teacher, you deepen your understanding of yourself and others. This approach not only fosters personal growth, but also helps you navigate relationships with greater grace and resilience. Through every interaction, the world becomes your classroom, and every person you meet becomes part of your journey toward wisdom and peace. Principle 7. Ethical anchors for stability. Ethics serve as a foundation for a life of stability and peace. In Buddhism, ethical principles are not rigid commandments, but compassionate guidelines that help us navigate the complexities of life. They provide clarity and consistency, acting as a compass to guide our actions, especially when we face moral dilemmas or external pressures. Living ethically strengthens your inner stability, enhances relationships, and fosters trust. Life is full of choices, and without a clear moral framework, it's easy to feel lost or conflicted. Ethical principles, such as kindness, honesty, and respect, simplify decision-making by aligning your actions with values that promote harmony and well-being. When you consistently act according to these principles, you build a sense of inner peace, knowing that your decisions are rooted in integrity. For instance, consider a scenario where you have the opportunity to take credit for someone else's work. Acting dishonestly might bring short-term gain, but it creates internal conflict and damages trust. On the other hand, choosing honesty may require courage in the moment, but it fosters self-respect and strengthens your relationships in the long run. Buddhist ethical principles and practice. 1. Avoid harm, ahimsa. The principle of non-harming encourages mindfulness in how your actions affect others. This doesn't just apply to physical harm. It extends to emotional and psychological well-being as well. Before acting, ask yourself, does this action cause harm or promote growth? For example, if you're in a heated argument, choosing words that de-escalate the situation instead of inflaming it reflects the practice of non-harming. This principle also applies to how we treat ourselves. Negative self-talk can be just as harmful as unkind words to others, so practicing self-compassion is equally important. 2. Speak truthfully, Saka. Truthful speech is not just about avoiding lies. It's about using your words to uplift rather than tear down. Kindness and honesty should coexist in communication. Before speaking, consider, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Imagine a friend asks for your opinion on a sensitive matter. Instead of being blunt or overly critical, you could offer constructive feedback in a supportive way. This approach builds trust and strengthens the relationship while staying true to your values. 3. Embrace simplicity, apicata. Simplicity involves focusing on what truly matters and letting go of excess or distractions. In a world that often equates happiness with material wealth or social status, simplicity encourages you to find contentment in less. For example, choosing to prioritize quality time with loved ones over accumulating possessions or chasing status aligns with this principle. Simplicity clears mental clutter, allowing you to focus on meaningful pursuits and relationships. Practical benefits of ethical living. 1. Cultivates inner peace. Acting in alignment with ethical principles creates harmony between your actions and values. This reduces internal conflicts and promotes a deep sense of peace. When you live with integrity, you can look back on your choices with pride rather than regret. 2. Builds trust. Consistently ethical behavior fosters trust in your personal and professional relationships. People are more likely to rely on and respect those who demonstrate honesty, kindness, and reliability. 3. Enhances resilience. Ethical anchors provide a sense of stability during turbulent times. When faced with difficult decisions, your principles act as a guide, helping you stay grounded and confident in your choices. Ethical living isn't about perfection. It's about striving to make choices that reflect your highest values. Mistakes are inevitable, but what matters is your commitment to learn from them and to realign with your principles. Regular reflection, such as journaling or mindfulness practices, can help you evaluate your actions and maintain ethical clarity. By living ethically, you don't just create a stable and fulfilling life for yourself, you also inspire others to do the same. Ethical principles ripple outward, fostering a more compassionate and harmonious world. As the Buddha said, "A virtuous man delights in this world and the next." Through ethical living, you plant seeds of peace and stability, both within yourself and in the lives of those around you. Principle 8. Gratitude as a superpower. Gratitude is one of the most transformative practices in life, capable of shifting your perspective from scarcity to abundance. By consciously focusing on what you have rather than what you lack, gratitude helps you find joy even in the most challenging times. It's not just a feel-good exercise. It's a mindset that cultivates resilience, happiness, and inner peace. Our minds are naturally wired to focus on problems, a survival mechanism evolved to detect threats. While this helped our ancestors avoid danger, it can leave us stuck in a cycle of negativity in modern life. Gratitude breaks this pattern by redirecting attention to what's going well, helping you see opportunities and blessings you might otherwise overlook. For instance, think about a tough day at work. Instead of dwelling on the stress or conflicts, gratitude encourages you to recognize the supportive colleague who helped you or the fact that you're employed in the first place. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges, but reframing them in a way that fosters positivity. Gratitude journaling is a simple yet powerful way to embed this mindset into your daily routine. Each night, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. Small moments like enjoying a good meal, receiving a kind message, or feeling the warmth of sunlight count just as much. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to focus on the positive, reducing stress and boosting overall happiness. Studies have shown that people who regularly practice gratitude experience better mental health, improved relationships, and even stronger immune systems. Gratitude becomes especially powerful during difficult periods. I remember a time when I was going through a significant personal loss. The pain was overwhelming, and it felt impossible to see any light in the darkness. But I made a conscious effort to focus on small blessings each day. For example, I found comfort in the unwavering support of friends who showed up for me when I needed them most. I appreciated the quiet moments of peace I found in nature, like watching the sunrise or listening to the sound of birds. These moments didn't erase the pain, but they made it more bearable, giving me the strength to move forward. This practice reminded me that even in hardship, there's always something to be grateful for, a lesson that has stayed with me ever since. Gratitude doesn't just transform your internal world, it also impacts the people around you. When you express appreciation to others, you strengthen relationships and foster mutual kindness. A simple thank you can brighten someone's day and inspire them to pass the positivity forward. For example, telling a coworker how much you value their support can improve collaboration and trust. Acknowledging a friend's efforts deepens your bond. Gratitude creates a ripple effect, spreading joy and connection throughout your social circle. Practical tips to amplify gratitude. 1. Morning affirmations. Start your day by reflecting on what you're grateful for. This sets a positive tone and helps you approach the day with an abundance mindset. 2. Gratitude walks. Take a walk outside and consciously appreciate your surroundings, the fresh air, the beauty of nature, or simply the fact that you can walk. This practice grounds you in the present moment. 3. Express gratitude to others. Don't keep your gratitude to yourself. Let others know you appreciate them, whether it's a heartfelt note, a kind word, or a simple text. Sharing gratitude strengthens relationships and spreads positivity. 4. Reframe challenges. When faced with difficulties, ask yourself, what lesson can I learn from this? Or what is still good in my life despite this challenge? This reframing helps you find gratitude even in adversity. Gratitude is more than just a positive emotion. It's a superpower that transforms how you experience life. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present, helping you build resilience, improve relationships, and find joy in the everyday. By practicing gratitude consistently, you cultivate an inner abundance that no external circumstance can take away. Remember, gratitude doesn't deny life's difficulties. It acknowledges them while choosing to celebrate the good that remains. In this way, gratitude becomes a bridge to hope, healing, and a more fulfilling life. Principle 9. Living in harmony with nature. Nature is one of life's greatest teachers, offering lessons in resilience, adaptability, and balance. When we observe the natural world, we see how effortlessly it flows through cycles of change. Trees sway with the wind, rivers carve paths around obstacles, and seasons shift with grace. By living in harmony with nature, we can align ourselves with these rhythms, finding peace and adaptability even in life's most challenging moments. Nature's ability to endure and thrive through adversity is a powerful metaphor for human life. Consider the resilience of a tree in a storm. It doesn't resist the wind by standing rigid. Instead, it bends, allowing the force to pass through it. Once the storm subsides, the tree stands tall again. Similarly, rivers teach us adaptability. When faced with a rock or dam, the river doesn't stop flowing. It simply finds another path. This is a reminder that obstacles in life are not insurmountable. They are opportunities to adapt and grow. When we resist the natural flow of life, clinging to what was or fearing what might be, we create unnecessary suffering. By embracing nature's wisdom, we learn to bend without breaking, to adapt without losing our essence, and to trust the cycles of change. Spending time in nature has profound effects on our mental and physical well-being. Studies show that being in green spaces reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and boosts mood. The Japanese practice of Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, involves immersing oneself in a natural environment to reap its calming and restorative benefits. Nature also provides a space for mindfulness. Watching the sunset, feeling the breeze, or listening to the rustle of leaves draws us into the present moment. These simple experiences remind us that life's beauty often lies in the here and now. Living in harmony with nature also means honoring its cycles. Just as the seasons change, so too do the phases of our lives. There are times for growth and productivity, like spring and summer, and times for rest and reflection, like autumn and winter. When we align with these rhythms, we respect our natural limits and avoid burnout. For instance, instead of pushing ourselves relentlessly, we can recognize the value of rest and renewal. Nature teaches us that even in stillness, there is growth. Seeds germinate in winter, preparing for spring. Action steps to reconnect with nature. 1. Weekly time outdoors. Dedicate at least one day each week to spending time outdoors. This could be as simple as walking in a park, hiking a trail, or sitting by a lake. Use this time to observe the details of your surroundings, the colors, sounds, and textures of nature. 2. Sunrise and sunset reflections. Start or end your day by watching the sunrise or sunset. These moments of transition remind us of life's impermanence and the beauty of change. Reflect on how these natural cycles parallel your own life. 3. Mindful gardening. If possible, grow a small garden or care for indoor plants. Gardening is a hands-on way to connect with nature's cycles, fostering patience and nurturing. 4. Digital detox in nature. Leave your phone behind during your time outdoors. Disconnecting from technology allows you to fully immerse yourself in the natural world, enhancing its restorative effects. Nature's generosity surrounds us every day, from the air we breathe to the food we eat. Living in harmony with nature also means expressing gratitude for these gifts. Simple acts like conserving resources, reducing waste, or supporting environmental causes show respect for the planet that sustains us. By observing and embracing the lessons of nature, we learn to live more harmoniously, not only with the world around us, but also with ourselves. Nature teaches us to accept impermanence, adapt to challenges, and find balance in every phase of life. When we align with these natural rhythms, we cultivate resilience, peace, and a deep sense of connection to the universe. Spending time in nature isn't just a retreat from life's demands. It's a return to the essence of life itself. Through this reconnection, we find clarity, strength, and a renewed appreciation for the beauty of simply being. Principle 10. Building unshakable calmness. The ultimate goal of the principles we've explored is to help you cultivate a calmness so deep and unshakable that life's storms cannot disturb it. This isn't about escaping chaos or shielding yourself from challenges. It's about developing the strength to thrive within them. True calmness arises when you find stillness in the middle of life's turbulence. Much like a steady mountain amidst shifting weather, life is inherently unpredictable, from sudden personal challenges to global uncertainties. External circumstances are beyond our control. What we can control, however, is how we respond to them. Unshakable calmness doesn't mean you won't experience stress or frustration. It means you'll have the tools to navigate these emotions without letting them overwhelm you. Think of the ocean. On the surface, waves crash and shift with the wind, but deep below, the water remains undisturbed. Similarly, calmness comes from cultivating an inner depth that allows you to respond to life's surface-level disruptions with grace and resilience. Visualization is a powerful tool for grounding yourself in calmness. Each morning, take a few moments to close your eyes and picture yourself as a mountain. Visualize the wind, rain, or sunshine representing life's challenges and joys. Notice how the mountain remains steady and rooted despite the changing weather. This exercise strengthens emotional resilience by reminding you that you, too, can remain grounded regardless of external circumstances. Over time, this practice helps you approach challenges with a sense of stability and composure. Scientific studies affirm that cultivating calmness benefits both mental and physical health. Practices like mindfulness, visualization, and deep breathing lower cortisol levels, the stress hormone, reduce anxiety, and improve overall well-being. Calmness also sharpens decision-making, allowing you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. For example, imagine being in a heated argument. Without calmness, you might say something hurtful in the heat of the moment, but by accessing your inner stillness, you can pause, reflect, and choose a response that fosters understanding rather than conflict. Practical steps to build unshakable calmness. 1. Daily mindfulness practice. Dedicate 5 to 10 minutes daily to mindfulness meditation. Focus on your breath or a calming visualization. This trains your mind to return to a place of stillness even in high-stress situations. 2. Grounding techniques. In moments of stress, use grounding techniques to anchor yourself in the present. For example, focus on the sensation of your feet on the ground or the rhythm of your breath. This simple act reconnects you to your inner calm. 3. Cultivate patience. Calmness often comes from patience. Practice embracing delays, inconveniences, or frustrations as opportunities to strengthen your ability to remain composed. 4. Regular reflection. Spend a few minutes at the end of each day reflecting on moments where you maintained or lost your calm. Acknowledge your successes and consider how you might improve next time. Unshakable calmness isn't just about weathering major storms. It's about navigating everyday challenges with grace. Whether it's handling a difficult conversation, managing a busy schedule, or coping with uncertainty, calmness allows you to act with intention rather than reacting on impulse. For example, imagine receiving an unexpected criticism at work. Instead of immediately feeling defensive or upset, take a deep breath and channel your inner mountain. Respond calmly, perhaps asking for clarification or reflecting on the feedback later. This approach not only preserves your peace, but also strengthens your reputation for emotional maturity. Your calmness doesn't just benefit you, it impacts those around you. When you remain composed in stressful situations, you model resilience for others. Your steady presence can help diffuse tension, creating a more harmonious environment in your personal and professional life. Think of calmness as a ripple in a pond. When you cultivate inner peace, it extends outward, positively influencing your interactions and the energy you bring to every space. Building unshakable calmness is not a one-time achievement, but a lifelong practice. It requires daily commitment, self-awareness, and patience, yet the rewards are profound. A mind that remains steady in the face of uncertainty, a heart that responds with compassion, and a life rooted in resilience and peace. By embodying the calmness of the mountain, you become a source of stability not only for yourself, but also for those around you. This unshakable foundation empowers you to embrace life's challenges with courage and grace. No matter what storms may come, the 10 Buddhist principles we've explored are far more than ancient teachings. They are a roadmap to a life of resilience, balance, and unshakable calmness. Each principle offers practical, actionable steps to help you navigate the complexities of modern life with grace and strength. But transformation doesn't happen overnight. It starts small, with a single step. Choose one principle that resonates with you today and begin integrating it into your daily life. Whether it's practicing gratitude, visualizing yourself as a steady mountain, or seeing others as teachers, the key is consistency. Over time, these small practices will create profound shifts in how you think, feel, and respond to the world around you. Remember, the journey toward inner peace is not about perfection but progress. Celebrate every moment of growth, no matter how small. Each breath of mindfulness, each pause before reacting, and each act of kindness brings you closer to a life rooted in calmness and clarity. As the Buddha wisely said, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. By cultivating positive thoughts, nurturing your mental garden, and embracing the impermanence of life, you empower yourself to become the best version of you, calm, centered, and resilient. If you found inspiration in these teachings, don't keep this journey to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe to join a community of like-minded individuals committed to living with mindfulness and strength. Together, we can create a ripple effect of peace and positivity in the world. Your journey begins today. Start with one step, and trust that each small practice will guide you closer to the calm, purposeful, and fulfilling life you deserve. Until next time, stay centered and strong.